Okay, stoichiometry. It's stoichio for element, metry, meter, measuring, and it should be stoichiometry, but I'll usually say stoichiometry just because I'm a little lazy on that. But stoichiometry is how it's pronounced. Now, we're going to use the reaction, the coefficients, to determine information from about one species from another species. And we're often going to start with grams, so we're going to do the very often we're going to do a classic grams of A to moles of A to moles of B to grams of B. But I'm going to do a lot of different forms of this. Grams of A to moles of A, we're going to need the periodic table. Moles of A to moles of B, that will require the balanced equation. And then moles of B back to grams of B will be the periodic table again. And then we can just go from moles of A to moles of B, grams of A to moles of B. There's lots of different possibilities, and we're going to probably see most of them here. How many grams of water are produced when 15 grams of HCl are reacted? So we have HCl and water. So we're saying we have 15.6 grams of HCl. That gets all used up. How much water was produced? Well, we want it in grams, but these coefficients are in terms of moles. So we always that's if we're given grams, if we're given moles, great, we can just start right into it. But if we're given grams, we have to do grams first, or convert to moles first. Once we're in terms of moles, then we can go to the balanced equation and find that for every 4 moles of HCl, 2 moles of water are produced. And these are exact, so we just have to use the numbers as is. And they don't have any effect on the significant figures, because they really have an infinite number of significant figures. They're exact. 1 mole of water is 18 grams of water. To save time, I've done these problems ahead of time, so this is 3.85 grams of water. And actually, I don't even trust myself because I did these a couple of days ago. Okay, so now let's look at here. I might have to jump back to the equation here in a bit. How many moles of chlorine are produced when 20 grams of manganese 4 oxide are reacted? So we have 20 grams, write down what you know. We have 20 grams of manganese oxide. If we're going to work with it, we need to be in terms of moles. So convert to moles. Now they want to know moles of chlorine, so always check and see what they're after. And if you look at the equation, it's 1 mole of a manganese 4 oxide produces 1 mole of chlorine. So you can 1 mole of MnO2 produces 1 mole of chlorine, and that's all that they want. They don't want us to get grams of chlorine. Normally you would. In this case they want moles, so make sure that you stop where you need to. In this case you're saving yourself a step, so don't be so overconfident in what the problem is asking for that you get the wrong answer. Okay, so we have that, and I'm not that confident, so you know I have the answer here. That looks good. Now we have this guy here. Same equation. I just wrote it at the top again. When 4.56 moles of water are produced, how many grams of manganese 2 chloride are produced? So we have 4.56 moles of H2O. So that's already in the proper form. So we can go right to the equation. And that's 1 mole of manganese. And then they want to know how many grams. So hopefully I've done this one out. And I didn't. Okay, great. So I have to go to the periodic table. So we have 71 plus manganese is 54.9. So this is about 1 mole of manganese 2 chloride is 126 grams. So 4.56 divided by 2 times 126 comes up to be 287 grams of manganese chloride. Let me just double check. 2 moles, 1 mole, 1 mole, yeah. Okay. 8 moles of hydrochloric acid. So I just write it down right now. I reacted how many moles of water are produced. A very nice one because it's just in moles. So we see that it's 4 moles of hydrochloric acid. I'm just going to write it down here. You won't be able to see it right yet. And water is 2 moles. Get back on here. So 8 moles of hydrochloric acid are reacted. How many moles of water are produced? It's 4 to 2. So this is actually, you can write it straight out. It's 4 moles of water. That makes sense because for every 4 moles of HCl, there's 2 moles of water produced, so it's dropped in half. If you start with 8 HCl, should be 4 moles of water. And then the last one, how many grams of manganese 4 oxide are reacted if you have 98.7 grams of MnCl2? So it's 126 using the information from the previous problem. 1 mole of manganese chloride. And then 1 mole of manganese chloride, or manganese 2 chloride, is 1 mole of manganese 4 oxide. And they want to know grams. And I'm going to look back 1 page, and this should be 87 grams. Just looked at the battery life on the camera. It's almost out, so I'm going to try to do this really quick. 1.26 times 87, and this comes up to be 68.2. That's the answer. I'm going to double check everything here, but just in case the camera goes out. So that's 126. I got manganese at 87, and it's 1 to 1. Yep, so 98.7 divided by 126 times 87. Yep, and that is the answer. And this should be grams of manganese. You always want to put in what you've just found. The grams are very important, so is the number, but also grams of what is important as well.